Hello, everyone. Welcome to Multifamily on Zoom. Thank you for being here today. Of all the places you could be in the world, you chose to be right here at Multifamily on Zoom. Today, we're going to have an exciting conversation. Going to be talking about due diligence, but before we dive into it, let me introduce our generous speaker who took his time to be here with us. Woman, I don't want to butcher your name. I'm not gonna say your last name, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Just
Uh,
wrong. That's easy. Yeah.
woman, yeah, yeah, woman has been in real estate for 20 plus years. He is a lead sponsor and asset manager responsible for acquisition strategy, capital raising, investor relation, and overall deal execution. Oversees all operational and financial decisions, owns multifamily assets in Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Texas. Man, woman, you were all, how do we call it? All around multi-family guy because you do acquisition, you do everything.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You can hear that white hair that's coming from experience. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That
Thank
is so great. And I believe multifamily is one thing you have to touch every part to understand really how it works. Now, eventually, if you get partners, you can certain things if they very skilled that you can let them have. But yes, it's something that really gets your hands on everything. So that's pretty good. So Roman, before we get into due diligence, tell us exactly who you are and how you got into real estate.
you. All right. Thank you. Thank you, sister. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me on your show, on your webcast. I really appreciate it. Every possibility. It's a great opportunities, right? So,
Right.
I've been living in New York for the last 36 plus years. I came as an immigrant from Ukraine as a professional engineer. Was working for a Japanese company for 10 years as an engineer until they moved that business to Mexico. Then I became computer programmer and was working for Bank of America for another 5 years, and until they moved that business to India. And I decided that's enough to work for corporate. And with support of my wife and my family, I decided that's it. I will start doing real estate. See, it's not accidental because I always love real estate, and that's a passion of mine. And we start buying properties in Pennsylvania, uh, and with myself and my friends, and we were able to get properties like for 30, $40,000, and I ended up managing about 50 units by myself and driving between New York and Philadelphia twice a week. Every car that I
Wow.
have about 350,000 miles. So I know how to manage the people. I know how to change toilets. I know how to deal with the problems. And that's why after 15 years of doing that, I realized it's not a business, it's a job. And so I bought myself a job. So we transitioned into 2017 with my partners. We transitioned to multifamily, and that's became my full-time job. And now it's not a full-time job, it's full-time business. 24/7, and I mean it. If I mean 24/7, Saturday and Sunday included. I'm doing it full time. I'm not doing anything but real estate. And that takes
Yeah.
all my energy, all the time, and all the knowledge that I can get from anyone. I will gladly pick up even piece of information that I don't know. In this business, it's very important to have a partners. It's more important than anything
Yes.
else. You can find the properties, you can find probably good deals, but you have to choose the right people to work with, and that's most important. Real estate, like I'm saying, always saying, real estate, it's a contact sport. You have to make the contacts. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so
You
we
have
bought
to have the
property.
network. I agree.
Yeah, so
I
yeah, so
totally agree. And we will deal into the partnership side of it. I mean, I love talking about that. I cannot stress it enough, but people don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay, you eventually became so focused on due diligence that you developed a software around it.
Yeah.
What problem did you keep seeing that made you say there has to be a better way
Yeah, the most
to do
important
due
part,
diligence?
yeah, absolutely. Most important part of due diligence exactly to understand what you need and exactly to understand when you will cross the border. You will cross the line when your money will get hard. That's the due diligence is most important time for people like us, like general partners, because we put in our money into at risk because you cannot get that money from the investors because if something will go wrong, you will have more problem than you want to. So that's your risk. The most important part when you negotiate in the purchase and sales agreement, and they giving you and basically you're asking for 30 days due diligence. That's all good, except one thing. One thing is it's most important thing that we fighting with every seller when the due diligence will start. So it doesn't mean that if you will sign agreement on, let's say, August 1st, your due diligence will start on August 1st, because speaking technically, you will have to get all the information from the seller within that 30 days. So what I'm always saying, and I'm specifically saying it on the contract, that due diligence will start only and only when I will get all the due diligence items that I requested in my possession. So it might take 15 days, it might take 30 days, but my due diligence will not start until I will get all the paperwork that I need, because this is when your time starts. That's from this point your 30 days will start, and this is very important because you have to do a lot of things. You have to start at least with analyzing. Let's say if you buy 100 units property, you have to analyze every single lease to understand what the seller is presenting, how the property, because the property is a live body. It's like it's another human, let's say, that has a specific characteristics, and you have to understand how that body works. If you're not doing the full analysis of the leases, your underwriting, everything that you're doing is doesn't really make any sense at all. So you have to compare what the seller sending you in terms of leases versus what he's sending you in terms of rent roll. So the two documents that you always will have to have at the very beginning of your contract, it's ask the broker or the seller, give me the leases, full amount of leases, and give me the rent rolls. So that's where most people losing money because they don't understand what the starting point is for the due diligence. And this is analyzing your income and your potential losses. And that's what my and that's what my application, a software, it's called My Diligence Pro. That's what it does. Instead of spending days on doing analysis, you can spend like 20 minutes doing the same thing using AI, and it does a good job for
Mm-hmm.
simple reason. Because I've been developing, I hire people because I'm like a business owner, right? So I hire
Right,
people and I giving them idea what I wanted to do. So I know how I want,
right,
what kind of results I want. And I spent good money on developing that. I hire people overseas and we have in every week meetings. And I invite people like Suz and
right,
Bob Bowman and other people from different community. A long time ago, they verified that business. They ask, they try it for themselves, and not only they try for themselves, but they ask management company go and verify what this application does. And the best feedback was from
right,
one of the management companies says, Roman, your application working well, your number is good. So that makes me comfortable. That's why I just can offer to other people to use. So that's due diligence is most important part. During this time, you can walk away from the property for any reason, actually. During these 30 days, you can walk away because you don't like the color of the walls. Nobody will ask you a question if you're doing it properly. But if you want to really pursue it and process future, so you have to make a decision by the end of day 30 if your money will get hard. So it means, for those who don't know, it means the money will stay with the seller no matter if you close it or not. That's the most important part. That's why I lost money
Yeah, they
doing.
keep your money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I lost money because I was obnoxiously optimistic at one point, and that's the reason why I create that application. And that's why I'm doing and using this
All right.
application on any of my acquisition right now.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that question. But you saying so in your LOI, you put a clause saying my due diligence doesn't start until I receive all the documents. Okay.
Exactly.
So that that
Last,
is that is great. That is great because a lot of those people, a lot of sellers, and especially the mom and pop, they don't have their papers together. They took a long time to give you papers and some documents. And especially in the RV park, in RV park, it's difficult to get all those documents. You get
yeah,
in little bit of pieces of napkin or paper. I'm not making that up. You know, because that's mom and pop business, right? So it may take you. I remember the park when we purchased it. There was one document. It took us a long time to get it. But
yeah,
like you said, the seller could not walk away with our money. We had that. We learned from the white people, and that make us consolidate our LOI in a way that you're not going to lose your money from the seller.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, that is a great thing that a lot of people don't understand. Like you say, you lost money because you didn't know apparently back then. So was there a particular deal or mistake that completely changed the way you approach due diligence today? If you would like to go a little bit deeper into that,
Yeah, actually, it
because you say
was.
you lost money.
I lost money actually on acquisition of RV parks in New Mexico because I thought that I know everything and I know how to do it because I already had that experience before. And I put like $35,000, and I couldn't get
Mm,
the piece of papers from the owner because they don't have it, because they don't have track of that, and I
yep.
cannot make a decision if I
Hmm.
want to do it, and it was too risky because I said I'd rather be. um, and I thought that I can go and do more and more and more because I ask for any extension. Every extension comes for another $5,000, $10,000. So every extension comes for another money from out of my pocket, and that's why I said, all right, that's enough. And I lost that money, and because I thought that I have everything, and I thought that I can present it to my investors. I thought that I can present it to the uh, mm, lender, and I couldn't. So it was
Right.
it was expensive learning experience. I can tell you that. But since that time,
Indeed, a very expensive.
and yeah, and the last current deal that we have, we spent like almost 2 weeks talking to a very experienced seller, asking them, please agree to due diligence times when it starts, and they didn't budge for almost 2 weeks. They said, why are you trying to cut me out of my time? What the reason? Because I start to have suspicions that something is not right, and specifically I know that in your particular case the management didn't do a good job, so I'm already expecting some problems. Just let's put it on paper. The due diligence starts when I will get all the documents. And they keep saying, oh, we'll give you within 7 days. I said, no, 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 no. I don't believe it. I don't want it to discuss. I want it to on the papers. That's all. So yeah. So I think
Right.
that
That
I
is.
stressed enough that it's very important. It is very important.
Yes, it is very important. I agree. When we say due diligence, what does that really mean? Walk us through it as if someone in our audience is evaluating their first multifamily deal. And the reason why I have this question in there, I know a lot of aspiring sponsors watch our uh program. So I would like you to walk us through because I think I don't want people to miss part of it because this is how important due diligence is. And you and I know if you don't do your due diligence, it's you basically. not only in your case you lost money, but you can lose the entire property. You can lose investors' money. That's how severe it can be.
Yeah. And
So
it's
can you walk us through,
yeah, and it's most important because
can you
if
walk us
you
through what?
absolutely, absolutely, and just everyone have to keep in mind that your relationship with your investors is most important. You cannot lose investors' money. You can lose your money; it's your problem if you didn't do a good job. But you cannot lose money of the investors because they will never go back to you. You lost your reputation, and
To
you
trust
can
you.
you can lose the trust, and that's most important. So that's never should happen to anyone to lose and explain to the investors why did you lose money on the deal. So I'd rather be losing my money than have the bad deal. So the due diligence that to answer your question comprise of few parts portions. First of all, is financial due diligence and physical due diligence. It's a two different things. Financial due diligence, that's where you get all your documents and you will be able to analyze everything, starting from the rent roll, starting from the leases, analyzing all bank deposit, analyzing all delinquencies, analyzing all documents associated with the property, including surveys, because a lot of lenders will ask for survey, and might cost you a lot of money if you don't have it. It goes with the RV parks, it goes to multifamily. It also you have to physically be sure that you can get the uh, money from the bank because the bank at this point when you're buying, the bank is your biggest partner. The bank basically giving you 70% of the money but asking in return approximately the same percentage that what you would pay to your investors. So the bank will be asking for 6-7%, but they're giving you 70% of the money. You're paying your investors another 6, 7, 8% of preferred return. So it's the same partner. So I would love to people to understand that the lender is your biggest partner at the point of basically negotiating and at the point of working with the bank. So you have to show them that that you have experience, that you have a track record, and you have to establish communication and relationship with the bank, with the lender. That's very important. You cannot miss any single emails, any calls from the lenders. You have to be on the top of it just because they're giving you most of the money.
Correct.
And it's when
Sure.
you're analyzing your financial documents. In the meantime, you have to create the LLC. You have to create the financial documents, legal documents. It's all going together. It's a big job during the due diligence. But then you have to go and do physical inspection. That's another expenses that you cannot get from your investors. That's your money at risk. And let's say we're buying 60 units right now in Texas, and we had to inspect 60 units, and not only units, but we had to go through termite inspection. We have to go under the ground to inspect the sewage lines and all that structural and all that stuff. So it costs money on the top of money. So it's piling up. It's work. It start working really fast when you already in the deals. Until that you not in the deals, you can say whatever you want, but once you in the deal, then the time will start kicking really fast. So that's why we spent no extra time. We went to Texas, we went to our property, we spent 4 days walking through each in single unit with inspectors. We're talking during this time, we're talking to to people. We're talking to them because we want to feel what they feel. We're talking about with them about management if they have any problems. We're talking about any leakage that they might have, any air conditioning problem, any complaints that they addressed 3 weeks ago and nobody really reacted to that. So you have full picture by being present at the property. That's the must. You cannot assign it to anyone else because that's your that's your baby. You have to do it. And we spent 4 days, 104 degrees from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, completely exhausted. My partner, he is a kind of he's not new, but he was the first one on this type of inspection, and he said the people say that GP is easy part. No, it's not the easy part. It's hard. It's really it's a stressful. It's a time consuming. It's knowledge, and if you will miss something, it will cost you. So physical and financial inspection, that's due diligence. It's really major components of what you do in these during these 30 days. It doesn't mean that you will stop doing it for another 30 days until you will close, but it's a different step because you already, at that point, you're already deep into the deals. Your money already got hard. So,
Into correct. That is true. That is so true. Thank you for stressing more into this.
yeah,
Investors sometimes get excited about the numbers in the offering maybe window. What should we never take at face value from a broker or a seller?
great question, actually. Thank you, Sus. Yeah, you can use OM, offering memorandum, if you have no other things to do, because you cannot make any assumptions based on offering memorandum. You can sell property using offering memorandum, but you cannot use offering memorandum as your main source of information, financial information. You can use it for market analysis, but in today's day, you can use any AI tool and it will give you the same results of market analysis. But yes, you can use it just to look through and get financing and financial to have the general idea. What you have to do, you have to ask the broker, please provide me with T12, trailing 12 months, detail month by month, and current. You don't give me any information older than, let's say, 1 month old, because bank will not use it. So that's what you have to use when you're doing your underwriting. Do not use OM. That's my no. You cannot do that
Yeah.
because it's
OM
useless.
is their own assumption. We're not buying on assumption.
Yep.
We need
Eh,
to know the real, yep, the
Yeah,
value of the property.
it's a fiction. I can make any assumptions. You can make any assumptions. And yeah, we're not buying on assumptions. That's for sure. We're not using any. Let me tell you, I have another one. You have to fall in love with numbers before you can fall in love with the property. Because even before you will see the property, you have to take a look if it makes sense to even spend time. And for that, you have to have serious conversation with the broker. You have to have a relationship with the broker. Otherwise, you will be using OM. And if you will go, let's say, to person probably like Suze, like me, and ask me to be a sponsor, I will not be a sponsor based on offering memorandum because it's at this point, it's not document that I'm looking for. I'm looking for detailed, specific, current T12 and specific and current rent roll. Don't give me anything from 2025, let's say, because it doesn't make sense anymore. At this point, we passed the middle of 2026, and some brokers giving us 2025. I said, I'm not going to use it. We're wasting your time. I'm not going to waste my time. Either you sell and either you're in serious
Correct.
business or you're not really seriously thinking that I can buy. Hmm. That's so to conclude that do not use OM as your major source. Always ask the broker for specific detailed T12 and specific detailed and current rent roll. Only after that you will be able to do at least decent underwriting because people that you will be partner will be asking the same questions. That's what I'm usually asking. What information did you use? Why they sold? Why it's more than 3 months old? I cannot use that because during these 3 months, the property lives itself and it can be completely different pictures. Let's say, just for one more second, we went to the property and we spoke with the manager. And during our 3 days, 4 days conversation, we realized that manager just yesterday gave that resignation letter. So for next 2 months, there will be no manager. So it's another consideration. So small pieces like
Wow.
that, but it has to be current. That's what I'm saying. It has to be specific. It has to be not general, but very specific to the property. That's most important.
Yes, I totally agree. So, uh, so what are the top five things you absolutely want to verify before your due diligence period expires?
You will have to verify.
It may not be five.
Yeah,
Yeah, it may not be five, but whatever number. What are the top things you want to verify before your due diligence
yeah.
expires?
Let's say, like I said, you have to verify every lease. You have to verify every single rental. You have to verify every contract information that they have, because people on the bigger property, like 50, 60, 100 units, they have uh, pay, they have contract services with the other people. So you have to verify if those expenses are correct. For properties, let's say more than 50 or 60 units, you have to verify the payroll. Why the people using payroll on the 40 or 30 units? Because that's something fishy. From my personal experience, if you're trying to get property, let's say around 50 units, it's a borderline. It's a very questionable that you have to have assigned full-time employee from management for this property. Something is not right. So if you're talking about 60, 70, 500 units, yes, you have to have the payroll. But if you have payroll, you have to understand what it's for, what it's doing, why people getting paid for doing nothing. And another one, you will have to understand what the management agreement is, if you want to keep the management property or you want to have your own management company. And you always asking and you always shopping around for the management company, even though that you have information from the management. Because for instance, I had experience the management company that was used, they charged 8% management fee. But small details like this, every uh, so-called eviction notice, like it's called pay or quit letter, every single letter that they have to send, they were charging owners $80. So for every one of them. So and a simple math, why do you have to manage if you can keep sending those letters for $80 and you will be okay? You're not doing anything, and you're charging your owner crazy money. So the management is another biggest partner of yours, because that's the middleman between you and the property. If management working for you, it's great.
Right,
But if management working for themselves, you have to understand what it is, and you have to get into that during due diligence. So you have to make a clear decision if you want to keep that management or you want to get a new one. And if you will get a new one, you have very little time to find that new one, because you have to trust them as well. And change in management is
correct.
one of the biggest disasters anyway. Just changing management company, it's affect everyone, including you as the owner, including every single tenant, because every tenant will start to be, let's say, politely creative. They can always say, I pay this guy and I'm not paying for next month because he already took my money. And just believe me, it's few months of disaster if you change in management. So it has to be very carefully analyzed what you're doing, why you change in management, why you don't want to do this. Because maybe it's a perfect sense to change the management, like in our deal. We will change the management because I saw that management didn't do anything to the property for the last 6 months. So I'm making this decision during my due diligence time. That's important thing. So that's the key. I can go in small details, but the key points is a management, payroll, contact services, pay stubs, deposit into the bank, because you have to verify if the management depositing money that they reporting on those financial documents. If they don't, that's a big no-no, because something is fishy, something is cooking. You have to look at the picture of T12 as a history. It's a story of the property. Every line's telling you something. If that, let's say, if electricity, let's say $400 a month, and suddenly some 1 month is 5,000, it's a big question. Why? What happened? So you have to look at that really in details. Actually, that's what my application does. Anyway, I can talk about it. Sus, you have to stop me. I can talk
That is great.
24/7.
Yes, I know. But I have a question though. You said if you have a property that is less than 60 unit, you do not need to have payroll. So what do you mean by that? Can you break that a little bit more? So are you trying to say once you pay the management fee, you don't need to have any money for payroll? So what happened? I know it's a small unit, but you're still gonna need to have people to
Yeah,
help. Like you may not have a full-time maintenance guy, but you may have a part-time maintenance guy. You're
yeah,
still gonna need a leasing agent. You still so how do you do that
yeah. It should be
for
part
you
of
not to have
expense.
payroll?
You don't have to have a payroll for that. You pay a maintenance guy by the project so the management company using the pay the like handyman maintenance person. You're not keeping them for a month if he will change two toilets, but you're paying him for the toilets. It's a regular maintenance expenses. So you don't have to keep them on any type of payroll if it's more if it's less, let's say that 50 units. It's your call. My call is you can because I have experience managing 50 plus units myself, and I know
Hmm.
exactly why and how a management company can steal from you
Right.
if they put in people on the payroll. Payroll will include taxes, it includes benefits, it includes all kind of different
True.
expenses that you don't want to do on the payroll stuff. But it's really your choice. I believe that if management is efficient, they shouldn't hire anyone to be assigned to the property full time or be on the payroll. Handyman is fine. Control contract services are fine. If you have to have specialists like electrician, licensed electricians, the management company should hire them for that specific job. You're not paying them by hours. You're paying them by job. That's my point.
My job. I agree. I agree. I totally agree. The reason why I ask you to work it, a lot of people are underwriting this type of properties. So the fact that, mind you, these people don't have experience, the fact that they know there's that section for payroll and they assign money to the payroll. And what you say is correct because you're not gonna have, you don't need somebody in there. So the property management already have those relationships. So every time there's an issue, they can just send that person to go ahead and get paid for that property. They don't really have to keep somebody there. Just like you are having single family. So you
Yeah.
can still use that same strategy just for the fact, yeah, I
But
agree. I totally
but
agree with that.
but
So
you
that's
have
why
to
I
look
wanted you to get into it a little bit more.
but I just want to step a little bit back. That's it's basically your call because if you will see like 50, 60 units and the management doing payroll, you don't have to automatically cancel it because you don't know what is involved until you will see it in your due diligence. Not only that, you cannot arbitrarily say, all right, I will pay 10% less because you don't know what the everyone roles is. So you have to analyze what they're doing, and then you have to go back to your underwriting and adjust it. It's a living document. You can always adjust it. But I would not do the exclusion of payroll at day one. I will have to know what it's for. What if be specific? Because yeah, you don't have to say, "Oh, I can cut the payroll and nothing happens." Nah, it's a risky business if you don't know what you're dealing with.
It is,
And
it is, it is. Even letting your property management go is a risky because they already have relationship with the people. So
yeah,
a lot of time when the property management leave, you ended up losing a lot of your tenant too. So that's why you need to know how to navigate both and balance and work the
absolutely,
ropes and know how what's the best way to go with this. And that's why most of the time people keep the property management for a little while to see how
exactly.
things to understand the property and to understand how things are being managed. And then you make the decision to start working people if you're working them out. But you can't work in the same day and tell people, okay, I'm firing you. Then what you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to be really aggressive. You have to know what you have to take that very carefully, and you cannot basically tell that, yeah, I will cut that salary. No, everyone who is doing something and it's justifiable, people don't want to lose money, they want to get promotion. So in my underwriting, if I see that I will keep that payroll, I will always at least increase that by 3 to 4% because I know that I will have to pay more for people who work in there. But that's a personal call. You have to be careful, you have to adjust it. Do not do arbitrary cancel it or aiding it. That yeah, that's my take. But on the size of property, let's say more than 60, 70 units, definitely you have to have the payroll. That's for sure.
Well, would you like to go, I don't know, would you like to go into your software and show a little bit of your software, how it works?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
if
curious.
uh yeah, if you will allow me to, yeah, okay, let's say I will try to, if I can share my, just let's see, hold on just a second. Uh,
Okay.
just let me just get my screen, and I can probably, if I can share my screen, I can show how that works. Oops. Share screen. Uh, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, let me just, because I was working on that one, logging out. So it's called mydiligencepro.com. I put it in the chat so for everyone who wants to 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 take a look on that. It's basically built for
Right.
syndicator asset managers, real estate investors. It's a subscription type of thing. You can use it for one property or you can use it for monthly monthly subscription because we add in not only multifamily, but we add in an RV parks and self-storages. So that's why pricing, yeah, pay per deal. So $49, $50 per deal, monthly subscription without $99. The broker was still working on that, but the two types you can do either one deal or you can do subscription. So once you will create your own account, you can sign in, and what people keep telling me that it's been done by engineer. It's plain, no excitement. That's what I like. So it's just the three buttons. So first of all, you have to get the file that actually what it is. You're creating the file for yourself, and you have to name the file. Let's say I will put SUS. Then you have to do two things because if you're already under contract, you already have all your leases, and
Right.
you can upload the leases from your computer. Let's see if I can do that. Uh, let's see my current one. Uh, Opportunities and and leases. You can do it in one click. You get all together and you have open. So as you can see, 46 files already been uploaded. Then you can upload another
Uploaded. That's
file.
quick.
Another one you can do, and this is, let's say, due diligence, rental. That's the file. So you have two types of file, rent roll files and lease files, and that's it. You
And the
click on,
leases. Uh-huh.
yeah, you upload in the leases and you upload the rent roll and you click analyze, and it might take for this for 46 it might take like 15 18 minutes. I don't want to go through that, but I can show you the results. So
Right.
you can see the spinner work. So that's uploading to the server right now. And then just 1 second, they want
Mm-hmm.
and it will start working in a second. You will see different one. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it's analyzing file in process. You can see that, and you can see the spinner. So you can see when it starts. You can check the time when it starts, and 8:15, and it's European time, 14:40. So 2:40 p.m. That's when the process starts. After 15 minutes, you can click. You will see analyze. And in an analyze, you will see this format. Basically, all your 46 of how many? 46 files are there. So what it
Files for
does,
the leases, yeah.
right, with all information about leases, all information about tenants, and all information about tenants from the rent roll, which is very important. This one, you can compare this one to this one because a lot of times what seller tells you the tenant name is not the same what is on the lease. So you have to go and take a look
That
on that.
is true.
Then you will get all
Right.
information about tenants, prior personal information. Uh, if it's available, you can get information about units. You can have information about address, when the lease starts, when the lease ends, who is paying for utilities. Let me just show you. Yeah. Who is paying for what? Land, let's say tenant pays for utility, let's say $60, 60 units for electricity and something else, right? Gas, water, and waste. And landlord, let's say, landlord pays nothing. So you can have all that information, and you can get information on monthly rent. And right here, you can see discrepancies. So the first number shows you what is on the lease, and second number, what is difference from the rent roll. So that all this is different numbers. You don't have to go one by, let's say this one, you see, 825 shows on the list and it's missing exactly $825. If you will go that, you can see that this property, that's what they gave you, it's vacant. So they provide the lease and they provide the rental, but it's vacant after all. So you don't have to go one by one. You can
It's vacant. Yeah.
Yeah, you can click on discrepancies and all discrepancies will show up on this screen. And not only that, you will see exactly what the mismatch. From the rent roll, let's say the seller tells you that they collect in 43,000, and and from the leases, you can see that they collect in 40,000. So it's a 3,000 difference. I'm always saying it's my 3,000. I'm losing it right now. So now you have to go back to the broker and talk to them. But before that, you can verify every single list that you uploaded. Let's say this one. You can click here, and it shows you, and you can see it's excessive paperwork. It's about what, 40 pages, 45 pages. But you can see what exactly it's talking about. Unit number, it shows you the lease amount, it shows you everything. So it can read from any type of format. It can read from PDF, it can read from Excel, it can read for handwritten, it can read from the pictures, and it's doing good job. So and that's what you can verify it against the lease. You don't have to go back and forth and get messy. Also, when you're talking to the brokers, every broker tells you that, yeah, you can raise the rent by, let's say, $100, right? You have the property address, and my application connected to the application called Rentometer. A lot of people know what it is, but it's actually good pay application that people, if they want to use it, they will pay it by themselves. But in this application, they get it for free. So I can verify this. Let's say the property address, number of bedrooms, let's say 2 bedrooms, number of bathrooms, let's say 1 bathroom, and it is apartment building. And I can tell you this, booms, and this done, okay, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, $895. So in this case, I can see that, let's say this one, and I know that this is all 2 bedrooms. So I can see the growth that I can raise rent a little bit. On some of them I can, on some of them I cannot. Not only that, I can download the report, which is also important. And the report will show you what the average rent, what the median, and it can show you the trend, where the rent goes. It shows you where it's pulling data from. That's your property. and pretty accurately. See, August 26, March 26, October 24th, and it's giving you where it's pulling data from. And also it's giving you sometimes, almost all the time, it's giving you a little bit more public record information that you have to go and find by yourself. So at least in this case, you can see that assessed value is $2.8 million.
Assessed value of the property.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what you're paying for the taxes. So that's a good portion. Not only that, you can see that's specifically for you and for the management. Let's say you see this spike. It shows you that in March of 2027, 9 units will expire. So if you will take this property, you can talk to your management and say, all right, we need to renew the lease, but it shouldn't be for 1 year. Let's just normalize it. So you can get it like for 16 months, 24 months, 18 months. So this you will not see spikes like this because this is good. Uh, five units
Yes,
is
I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you. Yes, Roman, I was
sure.
going to ask you about this. If he does help you normalize or standardize the list. So yeah, that's a very unique because that when you take over a property, one of the things you have to do, you really have to go and stabilize the leases.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if he does that. I'm glad to see this. Yeah.
And you can see the market research data. It's still working, so
Uh-huh.
but I can show you exactly what I mean. By let's say I'll take. By the way, yesterday I showed it to Jim Stewart. He was happy with to see.
Yeah.
Let me see just a second. You can click on market research data, and you can see actually key performance indices, so-called KPIs. It's what
Right.
specific to this address, what it looks like on cap rates, what it looks like occupancy, and not only that, it's not fictional because it's giving you a reference point. You can always verify.
Yeah, they have the sources. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're doing your underwriting and you're optimistic, you can always check the rent growth. Let's say that you want to do your underwriting based on, let's say, 3%. Okay, but data shows that you cannot do 3%. It shows you that you can do probably flat of 2%. Uh,
2%. Yeah.
and you can do this is where real AI working. And I spent time.
No, yeah, I can see that. I can see the AI connection and plugin that kind of pull in all those information for you to the sources with the sources it's giving
Right.
you.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's giving you
Yeah.
basically everything that you want to know before you
Right.
even start. But and
Yeah.
what I did
I like
also,
it.
and for even for the people who don't have properties under contract, it's still useful because you can do market research. So
Can do market.
without having this, you can do rentometer information, you can do market research,
Right.
and you can do a little bit of underwriting. So because I don't like to call it underwriting because in today's days only lazy person doesn't do AI underwriting. So I'm doing it. I call it underwriting reference.
Right.
So, but what you can do, you can put your expenses, what you have in mind, and that's what it's related to multifamily, and we're working on storage facility and RV parks. But you can
Right.
put your management fee, vacancy rate. That's what your variables. What it
Yeah.
gives you, it gives you actually, let's say, this one. It's giving you idea what the maximum price you can offer to satisfy all those variables. So that's giving you
Correct.
maximum price. That's
Yeah.
a reference point. At least you know that you still have to do your own underwriting, but at least you can see the reference point again. Because if your broker tells you the property worth $5 million and this shows you three, probably you're a little bit too far apart. But it's giving you can play with this number. It's just a little underwriting. I'm not stressing that it's the best ever tool, but you can try it, you can use it without even having property under contract. that's underwrite. That's the application that I have. Not only that, let's just go back
It
and
give you some good references. I could see me using that when I was barely studied underwriting. And
yeah,
then you looking at those things and you're like, okay, because in the beginning, when you start underwriting, you don't really know what you're doing.
yeah,
And you see the property and you think, but that gives you some good reference, the ballpark. Okay, this is what you can offer. Now you can go and, because I remember going and see property and touring property. And then I already have my LOI and everything.
yeah,
And then I send it, I'm at the place touring the place, right? And I send my underwriting to Jermaine. I mean, so many stories. And Jermaine says, Sus, do not go for this property.
yeah,
But I get the broker to see me the place though.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was very brave in those days.
And as you can see over here, you can work with every single one of the properties. Let's say you can make an adjustment monthly rent. Let's say $1,050. You can save it, and now you can see that's getting closer. Basically, mismatch.
Yeah.
So you can work with that. But once you're done with this one, you don't have to be online all the time. You can download your final results, final as let's say Excel
In an
spreadsheet.
Excel or CSV file. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
a simple Excel that you can work anywhere offline. Not and
Right.
it's a similar to what you get. Just a sec. That's the email that you will get. I mean, that's the file that you created. Not
Right.
only that, let me just close that and close this. You will receive the same thing from email. Let's say, yeah, My Diligence Pro, and so the email comes to your email inbox, and you can download the email
Can
file from there.
download your file. Yeah.
So
That is great.
that's pretty much. I can go on and on because I spend so much time, but that's general idea how it works. Anyone who wants to use it or wants to know a little bit more, you can always reach me. And I know that Zeus has my information. I put my information on my underneath of my picture. That's my phone number and that's my email address. And we
They
can
can
do
see you need to stop sharing so they can see your information. Because it's
let
not
me
showing right now because you're sharing. You can stop
just
sharing and
just
they'll be showing.
just let me just stop sharing. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Where's oops. It's not. Stop
Yeah.
sharing.
There you go. Yeah. This is Woman's number and his email address, Elite Services at Wealthy Genie. That's the one you want them to use. So
Yeah.
yeah, which I think is a very it looks like I mean it's very promising. I like what he has into this
I
into
can
this software. And yeah, it sounds a very solid software and very
yeah.
useful as well.
When I,
Yes,
when I was talking with Bob Bowman, he asked not he was verifying it with his management company, and they were happy to see that. Yesterday, I
right,
was talking to management company of Jim Stewart, and they said that's a good tool. We can use it.
right. So that is great. That is great. So I know the time is already getting so because we got into this, but I really wanted you. I'm glad I asked you to open it. I don't think we discussed it. I know you did tell me about it, but I thought it was good for you to open it. So I think I have a question for you. What are some of the red flags that may not look serious initially, but can become very expensive after closing?
Even if the owner will certify every single line, you have to be really, and specifically when the owner will certify everything, let's say in regards to occupancy, and if he will say it's 95% occupied and I can put my signature on that, again, you have to verify it. You cannot trust it. You cannot do it because after you close, this piece of paper means nothing because you cannot go after him anyway. Even though that you can ask him to certify and verify 100 times, you're not in business of getting litigation. You're in business of you're not buying other person problems to become your problems. That's the biggest red flag. You're buying the business to run. That's all. You're buying just the business and you know that you can run it better than someone who is selling it. It's different reason for them to sell it, but you know why you're doing that. So do not buy other people problems
No.
to become your problem.
No. So, how do you know when a problem is something you renegotiate, or versus something serious enough to just walk away from the deal?
Oh, it's always challenging. It's always something new, but you can see from the documents that they provide in that sometimes they can cook the books and you can see it. It has you have to have a little bit experience in accounting. That's why you have to have great partners so you can see how people cook the books. They can make a mistakes, and that's the biggest problem that they lost trust in 1 second. So verify every single
That's
document that you do not. My partners already got an idea. Do not assume anything. Period. No assumptions whatsoever. And now he is talking to me. Okay, Roman, I got it. No assumptions. and and
true.
and that's and the whole idea is, and we're talking after you close, you have to be on the top of it. You have to do your not monthly, not quarterly, weekly meetings with the management. Every week I'm on the call with the management company. Every week for last year, and every week they know what we're asking. Every week they know what we're exactly looking for. But the point is, every week we start with the same phrase: "Is that boring yet?" So the idea is to make this business boring. We're excited to make it boring because what we want to have fun, have life, collect rent, and do nothing. Because every time I'm looking at my management and saying, "You don't want to see me, I don't want to see you. You want to get money, I want to get money, and that will be boring business." So every time, every Wednesday when we're starting, I'm saying, "Denise, are we bored yet?" And she knows. She already said, "We're getting there. We're getting there. It's getting cold." So we have fun. Every time we're having fun. But fun, it comes with exactly what you know, what you're asking for. You can turn it around and be rude and be not be very polite, but they have to understand that you're on the top of it and you're not skipping any time because I'm asking her for every single number that is on my report. I'm kind of a little bit control freak. I learned it a long time ago. So if let's say she puts the handyman changed the toilet, $350. He said, "What? Say it again. Why he spent $350 on changing the toilet? It's just the two screws. What did
Right.
he do?" So
Yes, so those are the things you need to know. But I like what you say about verify everything because there have been time I'm looking in some properties that the seller put some dummy tenants in there. They're
it
not
happened
real
to me.
tenants.
It
So that's
happened.
another thing. People think they have, oh, this thing is 95 occupied. You really need to look into this. And then there's the financial aspect of it. Okay, let's say it's 95% occupied. Are those tenants paying? Sometimes when you look into that property, 20% of those people they're talking about are not paying. So it's not financially,
It's
it's
called
not the public, yeah.
it's
So
called
you have
economic
to,
vacancy, right? Economic vacancy.
yes,
That's
it
what you
is an
said.
economic vacancy, correct.
It's
Yeah.
exactly happened to me. We bought the property. The seller was certified at 100% occupancy. 1 month later, we know that it's 65% vacancy because
Oh my goodness.
he put dead bodies, let's say.
Yeah, dummy
Nobody
tenants. Oh my God.
nobody
You
said.
have made every single mistake there is in real estate. That's another
I'm
big
telling
one.
you, it's not coming from nowhere.
Oh wow.
I can tell
That
you,
is
I'm 30 years old. No, just
Oh
kidding.
my
When
God.
people
Oh my
asking
God. Oh
when
my God.
people
Yeah.
asking my age, I'm saying I'm 90 years old. I'm looking good for that.
Yes, you look great, Roman. So let's go for some fun. We call it the fun rapid fire round. Woman, we're not letting you leave without having a little bit of fun.
Okay.
So no long explanation though. You just have to choose. It's gonna be deal or no deal.
Okay.
Great location, terrible property. Deal or no deal?
Deal.
Okay. Great property, questionable location. Deal or no deal?
No deal.
Amazing projected return, but the numbers are difficult to verify. Deal or no deal?
Uh, so 50-50.
Okay. Great deal, but you don't trust the partner. Deal or no deal?
No deal. That's 100%. 100%.
100%, I agree. Huge deferred maintenance, but the sellers give you a major price reduction. Deal or no deal?
Has to be verified. Yeah.
Yes,
Can be a deal.
right. Okay. All right. Now some personal stuff. Multifamily or another asset class? Any
Both.
other asset class?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Ver- Diversify. Diversify if you can.
Yes. Cash flow or appreciation?
Cash flow, of course.
Great deal or great partner?
Good partner. Good partner.
I would say
100%.
great partner. If you have a great partner, you're gonna find a
Yeah. Deal.
deal.
You can find a deal, but if you're struggling with partners, that's no.
Right. Excel spreadsheet or your software?
Software, of course. I'm promoting it.
I was gonna get you on that one. Morning person or night owl? Are you a morning
Uh,
person?
you have to have a team where someone is waking up at 4 o'clock and someone can stay till 2 o'clock.
That is so true. That is so true. I found out that I'm a big Tony Robbins fan, and then I've been in a room. I went to Arizona to do something with Dean Graziosi, and then Dean, I found out Dean is an early person, and Tony is a night owl. And it's the same thing with me and my partner. She is a very early person. She's on the East Coast. She'll be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I am a wannabe morning person, but I'm not. I'm a night. I can go to bed like 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I'm still working. And that's when I'm very vibrant. I can get so many ideas. I want to work. I'm like, I can work all the time. But then I'm like, Suze, you need to go to sleep. But that's the time after 11 o'clock, that's when all the ideas popping up my head and I'm ready
That's
to work.
that's why when we say in 24/7, I do mean it. 24/7. My partners,
24/7. And it helps. And it does
including
help.
Saturday and
Yeah.
Sunday, including Saturday and Sundays.
Yes, the stuff you miss, your s- your partner get into it. And then I realized my partner with my East Coast, I mean the East Coast, my partner is in the West Coast. He works pretty well, even going to conferences. She'll hit all the West Coast, I'll hit all the East Coast, and then we come together, we convene. But when I get off work, she's still working.
Yeah,
So it really, really helped to
yeah.
figure out those things out. I
My
mean, those
my
are little things, but you'll realize that they change your life because
absolutely.
you get off, but your partner's still working on your
My
behalf.
my personal company logo: doing business with people you like and people like you.
That's true. That's true. Are you a coffee person or a tea person?
Tea, but 1 cup of coffee in the morning.
Beach, vacation, or mountains?
Beach,
Beach or mountains? Okay. If you weren't doing real estate, what would you be doing?
AI.
What's the best real estate advice you've ever received?
Get the good team and never assume.
Well, can you say that again?
Never,
Say it again.
never assume anything and get a good team of people, investors and partners, and GP
That's
and
true.
LP, because you're looking for big long relationship. And if in this relation, it's like that's my personal joke. I'm sorry. It's a marriage without kissing.
Okay. Okay, this last one you have to complete it. Listen carefully. Complete this sentence. Never buy a property until you,
You do your due diligence.
there you go. Until you do diligence, until you verify everything. Okay, this is my closing question to you. If everyone watching multifamily on Zoom remembers only one thing from today's conversation before they purchase their next property, what do you want that one thing to be? What do you want them to know? What do you want that one
Start
thing to be?
start raising capital when you don't have to.
Oh my God. That is so good. That is so true, guys. You guys have no idea. Like, I know a lot of times, many of us, like, let me get the property, then I go look for the money. You need the money first. It's hard to translate to the people, hey, why I need the money? But you need the money first. You need those soft commitment. You need the money for. We're talking from experience. We're not just blah blah blah. We're
Yep.
talking from experience because you get stuck in the middle and you need that money, or you don't have enough money for the closing, guys.
Yeah.
We can tell you stories and stories after stories. There is
Absolutely.
so many crazy
Absolutely.
things. Len, do you have a question? I see your hand going up. I couldn't see
Sure,
it. I
sure.
just see it.
It was just a clap. Sure.
Oh, it was
Thank
a
you.
clap, a
Hi,
clap.
man.
Nice
How are you
seeing you,
doing?
Liz. Nice seeing you,
Nice to see
Catherine.
you.
That was such a great conversation, guys. I know a lot of times there's things like that when you're not talking about lending, we're not talking about, there's not a lot of people uh coming and listening to that conversation. But just so you know, we move more into YouTube now. A lot of people don't come, they just wait for this and listen to it on YouTube, which I like better because I'm gonna change the date to the days. I'm gonna go more like of Thursday night rather. But what I'm trying to say is due diligence is one of the most important. You have the minute, let's say you have a roof issues and you already sign into these things or some HVAC, some those most expensive items. So all your return, there you go, all your return just went straight down the drain.
Yeah.
We could not stress that enough. Due diligence is very important. And having something like Women Develop, $99 a month, this is nothing because that will save you so much headache. That will save you so much time. I'm all about time. I'm all about buying your time. That's why I use VAs. That's why I have a VAs company and have people and that kind of stuff. So I'm all about the time partnership. We didn't get into it, but next week we having Christy Brock and Margaret here. We're gonna be talking about storage, partnership. I love seeing those ladies. I love seeing ladies in real estate. It's gonna be great. Woman, I truly appreciate you. I know you've been so tired being in Texarkana the whole week, and you still come here and put all those knowledge into us. We truly, truly appreciate it. I cannot say it
Thank you. Thank
enough.
you very much for having me. Thank you for your
Yes.
time.
Thank you, guys.
People.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much, Roman
Catherine. Thank
and
you, Len.
Suze.
Yes,
Susie.
yes. Thank you, guys.
Good seeing you
Bye. Have
again.
a good rest of your day. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. See you
Thank
next
you.
Thank
week.
you.
See
Bye.
Bye
you.
bye.